Principles. What is a principal? No, we're not talking about the person in charge at your school. We're talking about your personal principles. And a principle is a rule or a law that is established. So your personal principles is a rule or law that you are establishing for yourself, for the way that you act. This is how you conduct yourself towards others, and even when you're by yourself. Do I see trash on the ground when I'm by myself and pick it up? And you can also establish personal principles of how you let other people treat you. I myself have my own personal principles. The one that I think about the most is that I don't let others tell me what to do. This means when somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, you need to do this," I kindly talk to them about how they're talking to me and say, "Hey, could you ask me if I want to do that or if I could do that?" Because using the word need is telling me what to do. And if I were to tell somebody else what to do, they're not going to feel very good about that feeling. Of course, there's times when you say, "Hey, you need to do this." Like, it's exciting because you're like, "Hey, we need to go jump on the roller coaster together. Let's have fun." So that's my personal rule for others. Now, one of the rules that I have for myself is that I do what I say I'm going to do. That means if I say I'm going to show up somewhere, I show up. If I say that I'm going to do something for somebody, I make sure to do it. That is a personal principle. Captain Tall Tales Adventure Club has plenty of principles, rules that we establish for being members. The Platinum Rule is a rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Be kind. Prepare, explore, and share. That's a principle. And if you want to break it down a little more, it's a principle to create safety. So it's a rule for creating safety. All of the foundational things that we talk about in the Step Into Adventure quest, those are all great principles to live by. So if you go back through your journal that you've written all these down, you have a lot already established. So for today's mission, go ahead and bring out your journal. We are going to establish your personal principles. Now, establishing your principles can take some time. I remember the first time that I wrote down the principle of making sure that others don't tell me what to do. Actually took me a couple of days to figure it out. The thing to think about when writing these rules is how others treat you and how you treat yourself. What things do you want to see yourself doing better? Now, this can be a hard thing to think about. When establishing your principles, think about how others treat you and how that makes you feel. Think about those times when others treat you a certain way that makes you feel bad, makes you feel sad, makes you feel angry. What could you do to say to somebody to get them to not treat you that way? It's just simply asking, "Hey, could you say this instead?" Think about the rule that I established. I don't want people to tell me what to do. All I have to say to them is, "Hey, could you not use the word need? Could you use the word want? Hey, would you want to help me with this?" It's such a nicer word than "you need to do this." You could create one rule. You could create 10 rules. I remember writing 3 rules when I first started writing my principles out. Keep these following intentions in mind while creating your principles. Think of honesty, integrity, keeping your word, being trusting, being loyal, fairness, respect. And remember, respect for yourself and respect for others. How can we come together and have a mutual respect of each other? So just remember, when establishing your principles, that this is something to protect yourself. These are rules. These are laws. Now, of course, when you're telling other people your principles, it's okay to hear them out as well. Maybe what you're telling them doesn't work for them, but it's okay to compromise with them to say, "Hey, what would work for you?" Making sure that you come to a mutual agreement with somebody is a great way of establishing your principles and making a friend at the same time. Adventure on.